Hey guys, it's Chad again. This is going to be a two-part on this truck. Part one will be the overall, and then part two is the additional stuff that I just found going further into this truck. I just pointed you out some of that paraffin wax stuff. Meanwhile, I've already blew it off. You can see it all over the floor. It don't take nothing to blow it off, guys. Okay, a quick overview of this truck when you're looking at something in a dealership. Toyota does not use bolts like this when they're putting the truck together. They use rivets like this. Now, if you see a nice shiny bolt or even a bolt like that in the middle of the frame, that should be a red flag anywhere on this frame from front to back. So if you got lift kits and skid plates, if it looks to be tied into the skid plate, that's probably okay. Let me show you what these are. Okay, from the factory, probably easier to show over here. From the factory, the newer trucks have these plastic covers. You can see here in the frame here, most all that blew right off with no problems. Simple, but with just a blowgun. But the factory started putting these here in to try to keep mice nests and whatever else from getting up in here, which is fine. But they always bolt here. That's what that little steel metal grommet's for. You see that steel grommet my finger's at? There's a bolt through there that bolts in the frame, supposed to. This truck don't have a hole for a frame, for a bolt. So that bolt hole head that I showed you a minute ago is one that someone has drilled a hole through the side of the frame just to bolt on that piece of plastic. That would be a major red flag for me, because the less holes you have in the frame, the better. More holes you have, higher prone of crack and problems. So that's been proven over history. You can look it up and proof that for yourself. Okay, we started digging into this further. Here, go to the back here, and I'll be towards the front. Okay, started digging into this further because certain plugs I have to remove when I spray our high viscosity oils in, because I have to have access to the inside of the frame. There is a few holes I typically will access, but where these are bolt holded up, something was not right. These are the holes that I showed you in video one. Look at the water still coming out. These are holes from video one that they had two bolt holes and then that plug with all the paraffin wax. This is what I found on the inside of that frame. Someone has taken that caulk gun and squirted this all over the inside of this frame. You can see that. I can put my finger in here and I'm digging out. I know every bit, I'm trying to get a big chunk here, a 1/4 inch chunk of this stuff out of the bottom of the frame. It's just turned to mush where it's a wax, guys. But there's every bit of that much in the bottom of this frame. That's a problem. Paraffin wax flows when it gets hot. Chevrolet's been using it since the late 90s. Look at my Chevrolet videos on the paraffin wax type material on frames. It's not a good choice and it doesn't work. That's been proven over and over again. GM actually has recalls on their frame to show that. But this right here is a major red flag, guys. If this is not something that you're typically going to find on a quick view or an overview when you look at these, because this stuff is hidden. The driver's side of the frame is the same way. I want to show you exactly how this looked when I pulled this plug out. Toyota uses these plastic plugs on the inside of the frame. This is on the driver's side, just behind the front wheel. Look at all that. On the other side that I just showed you, I'd already knocked that down because I could tell someone had stuck a caulk gun up in there and just caulked it in. And this plug here is the same as the other one. It had all that garbage right here on it.
It's like really thick.
And it's really thick. So this right here, it's just wax. That's all it is. It's wax. So you barely touch it and it breaks up. So this right here is the same way. Okay, my finger, it's that thick right there in the bottom of that frame. Using my finger as a gauge, right there, I'm touching. It's right here. It is every bit of that thick in the bottom of that frame. Guys, there's nothing that I can do or spray over top of this that's going to give you protection, because you can see the water that is still running out from what's underneath all over whatever they sprayed in there. Don't know if this is some sort of recall. It's from the factory at some point. There's some recalls. They call out specific material, but typically it's not like the wax type material that I'm aware of. It's like an epoxy. But this right here is every bit of almost a ½ inch thick right here in the bottom of this frame, which means that weep hole can't function. These weep holes can barely function. That weep hole can barely function. Water cannot get out of this frame, guys. Eventually, this frame will fail, and there's nothing no one can do about it. So I'm going to bring this to the customer's attention so he can make an educated decision on what he would like to do with this truck. Whether he wants me to go ahead and spray it to try to protect it and get as much life as he can out of it, or if he wants to trade it in or then send it to market or whatever he does. That'll be his choice. That's all I can do is show him what I found. So, guys, if you're looking at Toyotas, know what you're looking at, know what to look for, protect yourself, and don't waste your money because there's so much garbage out there. Spend a couple more days. It might cost you a couple hundred more, but try to find something worth fixing or something worth keeping. So if you have any questions or if you've seen something like this, let me know because this is the first time I've seen anyone put almost a ½ inch, 3/4 of an inch of garbage in the bottom of these frames to try to protect them. So let me know in the comments, guys. So if you got any questions, let me know. Talk to you soon. Thanks.